Okay, on to the next video. This one is going to be a training video for Meister task for the supervisor level, which currently is occupied by Dan. So I'm in Meister task. This is the test job I was working with when I did the video for the foreman. So we'll just pick that one up and kind of go over, how you're going to be working with this at a supervisory level, what we're expecting you to do as far as compliance, checking on compliance, keeping an eye on subordinates, training subordinates, and alerting your manager, which is currently Fred, to any deficiencies, any breakdown in our system. So we edited the EMS template and added and give it a new look. So I'll just go over it briefly with you if you're not familiar already. All these different columns have been changed. So a job flow chart. You got tasks needing attention, in progress. This should look somewhat familiar. We're using this in, I guess, in other employee folders, I think. Right? Done, in compliance, and non-compliant, and then of course owner's review at the end. So the first one, job flow chart. This is basically an oversight and compliance task driven column where we're pushing this job down the field and through to completion. And once there's certain movements of these charts within this program that trigger automations. So one example of an automation would be that we just went over with the foreman, is that when the production side of the job is done, they're going to grab that top list, the managerial task, they're going to put it in done, and once it's dropped in there, it's going to auto-complete, and so the status is going to auto-complete, and it's also going to send an email. So we envision in the future that you're going to have staff that works under you that you can trust to get a job done for you because you're so busy that you don't even have to look at that job. You just want to be notified when it's done. So that's kind of why we built that automation in there. It's for you to expand your capabilities as a manager, build up your staff, utilize them as a real assistant, teach them more and more. You're grooming them to basically be another you. So they're right on the edge of being able to do what you do super efficiently. So you don't have to watch them. Get it done, move it over, and then I'll be alerted. And then so that's what that field is for, and that's how that automation works, and that's the reason for that automation. And there's other automations within here. So if you go to task needing attention, so picture that same foreman using something. There was a task, a specific task within he's managing this job. Maybe it was something weird that popped up. He put it in day 3. It's going to be, we'll say client to clean out pantry and will alert and complete. So that particular task, right? We can't finish this job because we're waiting on this client. It's something unusual. So now you would need to do something like this because the foreman doesn't have this capability if he's working off of his the app on his phone or the app on the iPad. You would have to teach him, or you would have to do it. Come over here. This is an advanced function only accessible from the web version. Click down here, and you're going to convert that list item to a task. So it's gone now, right? It's not a list item anymore. So let's get out of here, and you'll see that client to clean out pantry and alert when complete. The next thing would be to put this over here, and then the reason why we like this column here is that it alerts the managers. So you picture a subordinate doing this. Hey, we couldn't get the job done. He's explaining why the job isn't done to you, right? By doing this movement. And now to complete this process, we're going to go back in here and we're going to give it a due date. So today's the 8th. I want to I want to follow up with them tomorrow at like midday, something like that, 12 p.m. Right? So now that what that does is it notifies him, right? The person that created it is going to be watching it. It also automatically alerted you. So if this guy, the foreman, converted that list item to a task, but didn't make you watch it, how would you ever know? So he could assign you as a watcher. Right now, I only have Frank on this. This is still the template I'm working with. So you would see everybody's name. That foreman would see your name and Fred's. That's another way to alert you. Or he can go into the activity box and say @Dan @Fred and explain what's going on here. But we like this auto feature, where you can when you move things into there, it'll auto alert them via email. Hey, there's a task that needs to be done, and then if you wanted to double check, you make sure you set a due date on it, so he'll get reminded. So Kevin's going to get reminded that the due date is being changed, and the activity shows any activity on this particular task. So maybe the next day, the foreman jumps on here. He's trying to complete this job. Hey, I spoke to them. They need one more day. Need one more day. Type that in there, and then we would train the staff to reset the due date to the next day. So that's kind of how we envision using Meister task, and then you would be using the Meister task and training your subordinates to do all this work. And if they're not ready yet, then you'll have to do it. But so you have the choice and flexibility within the program to do this. But ultimately, we'd like to have those tasks that can't be completed in a normal time frame be over in this section, so it jumps out at you. Hey, this job's not done. Why isn't it done? And it also gives us the ability to look at the timeline. Like, hey, if this job was started on a Monday and this task was created on a Friday, obviously it was way late. The guy that who was tasked with completing this job dropped the ball. We need to get things done efficiently. So that's what the compliance part is all about, and that's what this video is focusing on. So that I'm just going to complete this task, and we're not looking to archive anything. Just leave everything there. Just leave it completed. That's fine. The only one that will have any archive capabilities will be Frank. So even you, the supervisor, coordinator, nobody archives anything. We want a running tally of exactly what took place in the job. If you archive, it just makes it trickier to see everything. So on to more stuff. So we'll just leave that there. So you would have been alerted with this job. We're just going to assume that this was moved over, right? Hopefully you didn't just get an email, but so that emailed you that this job was complete. And you should be looking at this job every day anyway. You're the immediate supervisor. You're in charge of making sure shit gets done. You need to know every day. So you're starting your day, as far as I see it, you're starting your day right here, Dan, supervisor, whoever's watching this. You're coming down, not to your templates. This is how I have my screen laid out. I mean, you might have it differently. I have miscellaneous projects up top. Job templates, you don't have templates accessibility. It's just for the main admins, Frank, me, and the secretary Taylor, Corey, whoever launches a job and does that. And then you have EMS jobs and your repair jobs and then pack out jobs. That's how I have mine. If you don't have your board set up like this, you should consider it. You can create a project group, right? Call it miscellaneous projects. Call it EMS jobs, and then you hopefully would be grabbing your jobs. They'll show up at the bottom. You'll drag them up and you'll put them in where they go. Put all your EMS jobs in the right order, in the alphabetical order. So now you really efficiently can get to the job you'll look at a review. So you're in the EMS division. So you're reviewing how many jobs we got going on at one time. Hopefully we have 20, right? That'd be awesome. But right now you're 3, 4, maybe 5 or 6. So you should be starting your day as whether it's your first step, second step, third step, before you get out on the road if you're on the road. You can even do this on your phone. Just click in the job and let's see what's going on here. So this was the old